Hello and welcome back to Tearless Tuesday, where today we're going to be tearing the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm going to preface this with I haven't watched everything here because after Endgame I only picked and choose what I wanted to watch because I thought that was a logical um, end point for me to get off on. But yeah, first things, I'm going to put Guardians of the Galaxy at A tier. Immediately controversial. A lot of people's favourite Marvel film. I quite enjoy it. It's got an element with it where I quite enjoy, but I just think that although it was a good starting point to make everything go mental in terms of everything becoming mad, I just think that it was a starting point in which it's gotten so insane in terms of bringing things in to like seemingly grounded universe that like it started a precedent that it didn't really like live up to the MCU. Avengers Age of Ultron, I'm gonna put it at B. At the time when it came out, I enjoyed it. About a month later, when I like look back on it, I didn't look at it as fondly as the first one. But I do think that a lot of characters were done dirty in that film. I do quite enjoy some of the characters within the film, but I just wish that it was either a two-parter or Ultron was a greater threat than just two instances. Next up, we have Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man. Yeah, the original Ant-Man. Um, let's see. Quite a fun film, but I think it pales in comparison to some of the other films on the list, so I'm going to put it at C. Captain America Civil War, I'm going to put it at A tier. It was like a backdoor Avengers film, really. It introduced Spider-Man. I think it definitely could have been better, but I think some of the story elements are fantastic within the film. I do wish that they'd actually followed through on the Sokovia Accords instead of just waving it across every single film afterwards, but yeah. Doctor Strange, I'm going to put it with Ant-Man. Fine film, but I think they played it safe a bit too much on that film. Along with Guardians 2, I think they played it a bit too safe. I think Guardians 1 was pretty good, but I don't think Guardians 2 got anywhere near it, and I'm going to put it at B tier. I think I will reevaluate these at the end of the episode. Spider-Man Homecoming, I'm going to put it at A tier. It's quite a good film. I really like Michael Keaton's performance. I do think that it's one of the last times in the Marvel films I've been genuinely shocked at what they actually did in terms of like impressed with the storytelling that they made Michael Keaton the father of the girl that he was going out with at the time. But yeah, extremely rewatchable, really. But once again, I think it could have been a better film. Thor Ragnarok used to be my favourite Marvel film. The whole element of Thor's story is quite fun, but the thing what let it down is the first like 20 minutes of the film and Hela's sort of aspect of the film. But Asgard, I think if they just set the film entirely on the world with Hulk, Loki, and Valkyrie, that it would have been a better film for it. But yeah, I think still a very good film. I still quite enjoy watching it. Black Panther, I think I'm gonna put it with Doctor Strange and Ant-Man. I do think that it had a lot of potential with its location. I think it had a lot of potential for building the world around it. I just think that a lot of the characterization between Black Panther and the rest of his world is quite poor. His interactions with his girlfriend in the film and his mother are quite poor, really. And the aspect of, oh yeah, Black Panther's dead, we're gonna have to get a new one. I didn't really appreciate that at all. I think that was very weak, in fact. But yeah, I like the villain. Michael B. Jordan's performance was fantastic. One of the best performances in the entire series. But yeah, putting it there because of missed potential. There's let's say there's some like missed potential films. What didn't miss its potential was Avengers: Infinity War. Very like it. Although it's like 2.5 hours long, and it's supposed to be. Some people didn't really enjoy its length and stuff like that, but I thought that it was literally like the best film that they've ever created. I think they had a lot of spinning plates, and I do think some of them fell, but a lot of them hit. I think the ending with Thanos actually defeating the Avengers, absolutely top tier storytelling, absolutely brilliant characterization of the villain. It genuinely made you feel worried about the characters. Absolutely fantastic film, that is. Another fantastic film is the original Iron Man. Looking back on it, it's quite quaint, it's quite simple, but the only bad thing being the villain, but such a good starting point for the series. If this film didn't do as well as it did, you wouldn't have seen the rest of this series. It just wouldn't have happened. And Iron Man 1 is such a brilliant film just to watch on its own. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'm going to put it in D. My first D. A lot of missed potential, but it was just a worse film than the first one, and the first film was a bit pathetic. Another one with a lot of missed potential was Captain Marvel. I know a lot of people hated it at the time, and a lot of people hate the actress who plays Captain Marvel. But I just think that with a slightly stronger script, it would have been fine. The film would have been. But I think it was let down by the script, really. A lot of things that could have been bettered, like it didn't do its actress the best of. The script did the actress dirty, basically. Avengers Endgame, controversial, but I'm gonna put it in B tier. And I know that at the time I thought it was better than Infinity War, but when you actually sit down and realize what happened in the film, it kind of is a bit underwhelming. In that I know it was a lot of the actors like turning off point, but yeah, I think they executed the film perfectly, but they had a lot of plates that what they had in Infinity, where Infinity War went well. I think Endgame did a lot wrong. I think they had a few too many things that went badly in the film. I did enjoy it. Like, don't get me wrong, everything above C is like really enjoyable films, and Endgame I did quite enjoy it. I just felt like if you cut 30 minutes out of the film and made it a lot tighter, that it would have been a better film for it. Spider-Man: Far From Home. I think I think it's at the above Avengers: Age of Ultron. It definitely is an enjoyable film to watch, but I didn't really like it as much as Homecoming. I don't know what it was about. I quite liked everything in the film, but it wasn't really like knocking out the park levels of enjoyment. Like, there was a lot of things wrong with it. I didn't really enjoy the aspect of Spider-Man not having like. Spider-Man's quite like it's a centralized character to New York, so like he couldn't really do any web stuff, and I don't know how to describe it. It just had some. It just felt wrong. Plus, another thing with these Spider-Man films that you'll probably see in a minute as well. Spider-Man's supposed to be like a single vigilante. It shouldn't be like a team-up movie every single time. Where you had the first one where he was with Iron Man, and the second one he was with Nick Fury and Mysterio for a bit. Like, it doesn't work like that. The character doesn't. I haven't seen Black Widow. I haven't seen Shang-Chi. I haven't seen The Eternals. I haven't seen Doctor Strange. I haven't seen Thor: Love and Thunder. I haven't seen Black Panther 2. I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And these are the films that I have seen the trailers for, and they just don't appeal to me. Like, the only ones that appeal to me that I wouldn't have minded watching, but I don't really see the point in, is Guardians 3, Thor, and Doctor Strange. Because Guardians 3, I've seen the first two, I've seen the death of Gamora, but yeah, I don't really see the point in watching Guardians 3. I really liked Ragnarok, but I saw the trailer to Thor: Love and Thunder and thought it looked like everybody was on green screen. I know everybody is, but it just looked really bad. And then Doctor Strange, I like the aspect of the Scarlet Witch being the enemy, like the villain, but I saw that it was, I don't think it looked very good. Anyway, let's go on to things I have watched. I've watched the third Spider-Man film and I thought it was fantastic. I know it's nostalgia bait, but I'll take it. Don't think it's as good as Iron Man or Infinity War, but bringing back the characters that they did, pretty much a like a good live action mold, like a Spider-Man film, pretty much a really good one. I think it's the closest that they get to improve, getting anywhere near the OG Spider-Man films. But yeah, I'm gonna put it up there. Really good film, really enjoyable. The only negative thing being Doctor Strange, but it is basically the tool to make the entire film to work. Don't really mind that, but yeah, let's continue. Hulk 1, detail. I think it's very difficult to make a Hulk film, and it didn't really pay off anything. It was quite poor, really, if you look back on it. There's a lot of things that is quite enjoyable in it, but yeah, yeah, it is as good as the films above it. Iron Man 2, I'm gonna put this quite high, and everybody's gonna be like, "Why are you putting it that high?" But I'm gonna put Iron Man 2 there. Iron Man 2, if you watch it back, there was a certain era of like 2016ish. If you watched it back, pretty much it had the blueprint for everything in that film. Like, you had to think of Tony's suits improving every iteration, that all of his enemies are actually improving his suits. You had the aspect of like government control. You had the aspect of the Avengers being created. You had Black Widow turning up for the first time. You had the hints that they might actually have a team up. I know they had it at the end of the first Iron Man, but I really liked Iron Man 2. I know it's meme potential with the two villains, but that adds to its charm, really. And with Thor, I'm gonna put that at the end of C, because it's, well, I'm gonna put it there. I think with Thor, the thing what done it was, I think Kenneth Branagh, the director, he kind of didn't understand the mission objective of the film. There's a lot of good characters, a lot of good acting, a lot of good the set and everything are brilliant, but I think it was let down with the director not really understanding that it was a superhero film. He thought it was just like the day the earth stood still sort of film, and it didn't really add to its charm. Well, I quite like it anyway. Captain America, I'm gonna put it at the end of a very fun film. I think it's a good film up until a point, and then he shits the bed. I think up until he actually starts fighting, like allowed to fight, I think it's a really good character study of Captain America. But when he starts fighting as Captain America, it shits the bed. The first Avengers film, not there. I'm gonna put it there. Joss Whedon did absolute wonders for the entire franchise with that. I know he set the ball rolling in terms of the way that they expect the scripts to be written to be a bit jokey, and that everybody turned into Iron Man after the Avengers, like all the main characters and basically Iron Man, like quippy and everything. But just rewatch that film, it's fantastic. Everybody thought that it wouldn't work, and it worked perfectly. Still a fantastic film, and if you disagree, you disagree at the end of the day. Iron Man 3, not as bad as what people think, but I definitely can see why people didn't like watching it at the time. I think I'm gonna put it above it, Far From Home, in that place there. I think if it was just Iron Man, like it was the first Iron Man film after like Avengers, it'd be such a good like Christmas film, really. It's like Iron Man turning into a detective, and I know like the director went in a bad direction in terms of, oh yeah, this is gonna be my last outing sort of thing as Iron Man, but still a good film. Still very, very fun to watch. Shane Black, brilliant writer. Yeah. So The Dark World, poor, boring. Don't understand why it was filmed, really. And The Winter Soldier is last. I'm gonna put The Winter Soldier there. It's like a spy thriller, but I think with the years gone past, it's been like a decade since the film come out, that I think age hasn't been good kind to it sort of thing. But yeah, this is my MCU tier list. I think I'm pretty happy with how it went. Well yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and goodbye.